Round number 3 action from MLG Providence between the Red Terran, Slayers Ganzi, and the Blue Zerg Violet, formerly of MVP, also formerly of AZK. At least I imagine it's formerly. That team has had some troubles. Don't really want to get into it. But it is MLG Antigua Shipyard, so cross spawns are enforced. So we have some ZvT action between two Korean players facing off fairly early in the open bracket, which is quite unfortunate for one of them, as they are going to go down into the losers bracket and have to fight their way up from that. We do see that Slayers Ganzi loves MLG, and who wouldn't? This is probably one of the biggest, highest quality tournaments outside of Korea, outside of the GSL that there really is, and I think you could argue that this almost has higher quality, just because of how many foreigners are here too. The top tier foreigners are here, top tier Koreans. You couldn't really ask for more. Maybe best of 7. That would be cool. But otherwise, really nice series, hopefully in store for us. You see Ganzi, normal build. It doesn't look like he's going to go for any sort of 11-11 racks on the cross positions. I'd be surprised if he was going to. He is going to build a proxy barracks, at least one, but not 11-11, and so maybe some light 2 racks pressure, maybe just feigned 2 racks pressure. We'll see if he gets the refinery down, and it does look like he is, so I think he just wants to scare his opponent, make him think that there's 2 racks pressure coming. He might even drop a bunker right here, just to, sell that illusion to him. But really, unless Violet horribly mishandles it, like doesn't kill the bunker building. I've done that. That makes me feel like an idiot, but I've done it. It's really not that big of a deal. You just put 1, maybe 2 drones on that SCV, it kills them, and then you go back to your life. And so now Violet is going to go into the base, he's going to see the refinery, and really shouldn't be all that worried. He is going to scout around for the racks. He's probably curious where it is. I don't know if he'll actually see it, but we do see that the first Marine is rallied to the SCVs that's heading across, so we probably will be seeing a bunker going down just to make Violet pull some drones off of gas. But we see that the spawning pool went down recently. Nothing too strange, as well as the decently early gas. I think it was probably 15, 15, 17. So he's going to have a speed up fairly early. And oh, nice check right there. So he checked to make sure it wasn't in his third, because that would be a horrible proxy racks. And this Overlord might actually see what's going on eventually. We do see the factory is being built. Did Violet see that? He did. So I think he knows exactly what's going on. So it looks like Ganzi is just going to go for the reactor Hellion expand that's very popular. And we see right here that the bunker does go down, and really nice positioning, because right now the only places that this SCV can be hit at are right here, and right here. And so can it hit him right there? No, I don't think it can. So really this SCV, if it had gotten lucky sort of in the way that it bounced around, that bunker could have gotten up, and then this Marine could have, maybe gotten in there. And that's just really annoying, because then you can't mine from here. The Zergling surround area is just so low. And he forced out 4 Lings, which is probably, 1 extra pair or more than what he wanted to make originally. So all in all, just very nice beginning from Ganzi. He obviously would have liked to get more Lings, because then this reactor Hellion follow-up would have been even more powerful. Slow Lings, not so good against the Hellions. But Ganzi is going to start making some Hellions. He's getting the command center behind it. Now this sort of opening is vulnerable to early roach aggression, which is why a lot of times you'll see a quick tech lab put onto the first barracks that was built. You can either get out a Marauder fairly early, or you can just, make the 2 Hellions, then switch it out, get tanks out fairly quickly, and it looks like that's what we're going to do. I personally, when I dabbled in Terran once, that's what I did, and I don't think, what did that... So the Zergling didn't see anything, and we do see the tank production is beginning immediately. So this has a double benefit. One, it's going to make him, basically immune to any sort of roach aggression. We see the Roach Warren going down, and roaches are probably about a minute away, maybe a minute 20 away from hitting here, and by that point he'll have the tank out, and he's going to be able to hit that, almost stereotypical 3-tank timing push just that much quicker. We do see the Hellions. Ooh, 1 Hellion does get caught. Nice catch there by Violet, and speed finishes, so he probably will be able to kill this Hellion as well. Ooh, close, but it does look like he's going to kill him. So Ganzi really not doing all that much with his Hellions. If we look, he didn't even scout. He doesn't know if it's a lair or not. interesting decision making from Ganzi. Like it's very rare that you see Korean players really put their Hellions in such a confrontation, I suppose. They're more content to just have them hover around here and really prevent creep from being spread, just so when that 3-tank timing push hits, they can set up siege right here, and the banelings, if they exist, won't be moving faster on creep, etc. Now we see that there are, how many is that? 9 roaches are out, but it looks like there's going to be 2 tanks without siege mode. Unfortunate, but 2 tanks and 8 marines. Probably going to be about 15 marines by the time these roaches get here. Is just going to be able to clean this up very, very effectively. We even see a bunker going down. That will it be done? It might be done by the time the roaches actually hits. Combat shield is finishing. Siege tech, and I think we're just going to see that normal 3-tank push from Ganzi as a follow-up. And if he's able to take out a lot of these roaches, I think he'll be able to. That counterattack could win him the game, but I think Ganzi sent in, Violet sent in a couple of lings here, and he sort of saw what was going on. Let's see here. He doesn't know the bunker is building, so he is aware of what's going on, and so he's not going to go in with just this piecemeal force. We see a bunch more lings are being made, and it looks like a 3rd base is going to be taken as well. So a bit of an interesting sort of diversion of resources. Wow, that's actually really odd, because Violet is only on 24 drones to the 34 SCVs of his opponent. We see that Ganzi is going to move out with 2 tanks and have a 3rd rally to come back home, but it's really odd. So let's see if Violet goes for the counter or the flank. It looks like he's going to set up for the flank. Ganzi should really get in siege mode as soon as he can. If he doesn't, it could be devastating, and it looks like he's getting in siege mode right now. We'll see if the battle goes in his favor. The siege tanks are able to get like 1 volley off before the roaches really destroy them, and Violet's going to be able to take out this army very, very easily. And I can't help but to think that that was more Ganzi making a mistake than Violet showing any sort of particularly brilliant play. I mean, if we look, he's only up to 29 drones right now. That's never a situation you want to be in, where the Terran has, a 10 drone lead on you. And even odder is the fact that Violet is going to be on 3 bases with only 30 drones. That's 10 drones a base, and just really I'm kind of curious as to why he did that. I guess it does set him up for a longer game in the future, but at least right now, not really all that much going for him. We finally see drone production being started up again. For Violet, he's going to be up to about 40, but with this strong defensive position, Ganzi should be safe from any sort of real pressure. These lings are going to clean up the remnant marines from that initial force. Maybe? No, looks like they're going to be driven away. But we see that Violet on his side is getting the lair kind of late for this matchup, actually, the way that it developed. Those roaches just diverted a lot of his gas away from being able to tech up, and taking his gases at his natural. So maybe mutas. We do see a baneling nest somewhere, just in case there is some type of biomech type push. Ganzi also is not content to rest on his laurels. He is getting that command center, going to probably take this 3rd base. He could even keep that as an orbital if he wanted to. It's fairly defensible, especially if you put some structures right here, maybe siege up a tank or 2 to stop any sort of counterattacks from this back hallway. Then really all you have to defend is this tiny area. And we do see a bit of a Zergling run by. A couple of them got killed. You can see their carcasses right there. And Ganzi should be content with this situation. I mean, he's almost even with his opponent on supply. He is a little bit low on tanks, and kind of odd. He only has 3. I guess losing those 2 in the beginning was a bit of a bigger deal than expected. And we see that Ganzi is loading up for a drop. What sort of defenses? There's a couple of lings there, but the roaches that are really what he wants to defend with are out in the middle. They're not going to be able to get there in time. The drop does come in. We'll see how quickly Violet responds. He's going to be able to. They don't have stim, so he's going to lose a couple of drones. It looks like 2 were killed. He might be able to take out this extractor, which is going to be nice. It stops gas from being mined for a bit of time. And it looks like the extractor is going to go down, and all the drones are actually going to be pulled, so he's even losing some mining time, and then Ganzi is just going to load up and get out. And exactly that happens. This is also going to give Ganzi sort of the map control that he needs to move out into the middle. He's going to be able. He should check this watchtower. Check the watchtower, Ganzi. Oh, well, I guess not. But now he's just going to sort of set up siege outside of these rocks, and he's going to be able to set up sort of a light contain on his opponent. And we see that Violet, oddly, is not getting much of anything. I mean, he has Baneling speed, but there's double upgrades coming up, so +1/+1 melee, and really this is just going to be a very, very hard position for Violet to break out of. We see a couple, like one siege tank on the high ground, 2 on the low ground, and he's going to be able to take this siege tank out, but not really all that much else. And in the meantime, where are Violet's, and Ganzi is actually reinforcing at the at his own base, so even if he loses his push, the counterattack shouldn't kill him just because he's going to be able to have enough defenses at home. While all of this is going on, he has the third base up. It's still about even in drones, and really there's not all that much that Violet can do with this really nice micro from Ganzi. Basically, anytime a Baneling gets near his body, he just lifts him up and calls it a day. And he's not all that worried about doing direct damage, just making his opponent make more and more lings, more and more roaches, just anything he can to stop him from teching up into mutas, infestors, etc., just spending money, spending gas. He's going to be happy with that because this is a game that Ganzi feels that he can win in a long, drawn-out macro game, and just from his play, I wouldn't doubt him. We do see a bit of a counterattack into the third base. It's probably going to do a nice Ganzi, Violet actually put his units on move command instead of a move, and they're kind of split up. This force is going to get killed fairly quickly with the units that are at the main for Ganzi. But this little counterattack right here is going to do a bit of damage. We see 2 kills, 0 kills. They've had that 7 or 8 kills, but at the same time, Ganzi is probably going to be able to clean up this third base of Violet. We see that the Marines now have +1. They have Stim. They're going against only +1 Carapace Roaches. And the Spire is only just about to finish at, the 16, probably it'll finish at about the 17-minute mark. So, a very, very long time for Violet to be so low-tech, really, and we see him continuing to make roaches. That's going to eat into his Mutalisk production that he's going to be able to afford, so those 7 roaches are going to be about 2 less Mutalisks that he could make. And we see now that this 4-tank army with Marine and Medevac support is probably going to be more than sufficient to deal with what Ganzi has, as long as he just sieges up and doesn't, walk into the army exactly like what he's doing. Siege up those tanks, Ganzi. Ganzi is not sieging up the tanks. Apparently he doesn't have to, because it's just that good. He's driving away the Roach army, or roaches are that bad, I guess, in ZvT. And we see Ganzi just loading up everything for a bit of a doom drop. We'll see, is Violet gonna see this? Ouch, he sees 1 medevac. And even that was just for a blip. He is moving everything into his main, but I think, oh wow, Ganzi's just gonna have such a great position. The siege tanks are sieging up. He's spreading out his Marines already. Violet is losing Overlords. He's losing everything. His spawning pool is going to go down most assuredly. He loses the extractor, and really, that's just going to be a devastating blow to Violet. He should just kill this spawning pool and then get out right away. Because really, what are you going to make? You're going to make roaches, sure, but those are they're going to be very, very. Really, Ganzi? Come on, Ganzi. So Ganzi walks out of there. Without accomplishing all that much. I mean, he lost most of his army there. He's down only 2 tanks and, 40 Marines, but he probably made a lot of those just back at home. They're kind of massing up right here, and escaped with almost nothing, so to speak. And he didn't even kill this spawning pool. If you had killed this spawning pool, it would delay any sort of counterattack from the Zerg player, just because they wouldn't be able to reinforce with anything but roaches, and you should feel confident in your siege tank line to stop any sort of roach aggression, just because of how comparatively slow they are to the Zergling alternative. We see that Ganzi is also getting ready to take this gold base. He's going to turn it into a planetary, and it's going to be very, very effective against, in holding this position. I'm kind of curious that Violet hasn't made any Mutalisks. He just hasn't felt, I guess, safe enough to, and this Baneling roach attack is going to be able to take out this sort of mini army that the Terran has, but the Terran is just, continually staying at around 160 supply versus the 120 of his opponent. He's making 14 Marines and a tank at a time, and he's adding on more factories so he can build, probably about 3 tanks at a time. And basically, anytime Violet kills an army, he's forced to resupply with Lings, turn some of them into Banelings, and, did that hatch? Wow. Ganzi, I missed that drop. There was actually a drop over at the third base that was able to take it out. So really now, Ganzi's just in a great position. He's double expanding at 2 very, very far position sides of the map, and I think Violet is really going to have just one chance to really just go all in and probably try to take out the third in the natural. And that's going to be that, just because he doesn't have the tech to take this game into the late game. He doesn't have any Mutalisks out. He does have a Spire, but hasn't made any Mutalisks. He doesn't have an Infestation Pit, and we see him massing up roaches, about 30 roaches. I think he's just going to kind of go balls to the walls right here and see how that goes. He should not attack this Planetary Fortress. We see the attack. Ganzi? Okay, Ganzi is just going to be able to hold this off with ease because Violet forgot to wait for his Banelings, because, you know, you don't want those. And we see that Ganzi is going to just run away, bravely bold Sir Robin, he did. And the Banelings are just going to get shelled by this siege tank, and with some nice Marine split, he's going to retain almost all of his Marines. And now Violet is at 106 supply. It's 2 base versus a 6 base Terran, one of those are gold. And just expect to see GG from Violet here any second. He's down about 70 supply compared to his opponent. And there is the